made it seem like that had an easy night, man. Groves didn't have no easy night with that kid. It was, I concur it was a unanimous decision, right? But that wasn't the story of the fight. I mean, he didn't do anything but jab, tie the kid up, you know. Kid just didn't know what to do on certain things. He's what I call a carpet bomber, you know. If you look at it in military terms, you know, before we sent in the heavy stuff, you know, we soften up the beach with the battleships and, you know, the planes and carpet bombs soften up the positions and things like that. But before you even do that, you have to send in the advanced Navy SEALs or people to scout and let you know where the targets and things are at and where the bombs. So there's his jab and his entrance work right there, you know. And then once you are successful with the carpet bombing, which he is, now you finish it off with your Tomahawk missiles, your ICBMs, you know, with your power shots, your calculated power shots. So he's got, if it was a war, he'd be a great carpet bomber. But in the fight, he needs to know how to advance into the territory, to give the report back to who's carpet bombing, and then the carpet bomber needs to know when to tell the Tomahawks to come in and finish the job. So he's stuck right there. You know, that's how I think. Yeah. But if anybody takes away his style now, it would be foolish. You just have to give him the vision of what he needs to add to his style. That makes sense. That's what I feel like. You know,
that makes sense. How do you, you know, because I know his dad is such a presence in his career. Right. You know what I mean? Right. So how do you handle being able to teach the kid, you know, what he needs to do and still be able to deal with, I don't want to call it, it's not ego, that's not what it is, but just the presence of his father in the career?
Well, I mean, I would think that the love and concern that his father has demonstrated for him so far, that this particular fight would open his eyes further and say that, you know what, he does need this and he does need that. You definitely can't leave it like it is because it's predictable now, you see. Anybody with some footwork and a decent jab and some strength could befuddle him right now. But, you know, if I'm sure, I mean, the Eubank Sr. is intelligent enough to buy into a vision of what his son is. See, his son he doesn't have an advanced product and he doesn't have a closing product. He just has a middle fight style, which could overwhelm a lot of people depending on the size of the beach and the quality of that army. Yeah, he can overwhelm you, you know. But when you have somebody with more than one dimension, you just can't rely on that. You just can't rely on that. So, I mean, if he's going to be open at any time, he should be open now. But I wouldn't change the style that he has now. It was just that same style. He should know where to use it and when to use it. You know, you just can't go in like that the whole fight and think it's going to turn out the way you want it to. Right. You have to know when to bring that in and when not to bring it in. And also, by having an advanced weaponry, he has a vision. He has a sense of distance and space, see, which he really was terrible at the other night.
Do you think the size mattered? Like, do you think he should still compete at 168 or should he go back down to 160?
I think wherever he feels good, he should stay there. Look, he has the fitness to fight at 68, right? He has and he has quickness. It's just that he doesn't have the IQ attached to it. See, with his quickness, if he had the IQ attached to it, it would be a different fight because he'd have jabbed with Groves. He'd have disrupted Groves' rhythm by using his own jab and lead hand. And then he would have got his big shots in by knowing when to cover Groves up with his flurries. cover him up with his flurries, but then he doesn't know how to, as he's flurrying, he doesn't see the big targets as he's flurrying. If you're going to throw 3-4 punches, then 3 and 4 should be power shots. Mm-hmm. But when he gets to 4, he's still flurrying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So I mean, he hasn't had much fat on his body now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to go to 160 might be tough for him. I mean, he's, 29? He might as well stay at 68.
Right.
He'll settle into it. He'll settle into it. If he's 74, 75 the night of the fight, trust me, he's big enough. But, yeah, Droz is going to be big to you if you buy into his fight. If you didn't buy into his fight, he's not going to be bigger than you. He's going to actually be an asset as opposed to a liability. He's going to be an asset to your offense, see, because you're not going to allow him to use his size or whatever. That's not going to happen. But because Eubank's feet are not right, other than having them in place and throwing these flurries, he can't in and out on him. He can't keep him off balance. And that's, to me, that's where he that's what he needs to shore up. And when I look at all his work, everything's just speed in place. His feet are always in place. He never moves them. You know, you never see him move and come behind a jab, a double jab, step over, drop a flurry of 3 or 4, step over, drop a 2-piece. See, you don't see that. You know, but it's a shame they're trying to. You know, I thought Sky Sports was pretty biased, to tell you the truth.
Really?
Against Eubank, yeah. I mean, I thought they were pro Groves all the way in their delivery. But, you know, they got a little hole to come out of, and it's going to be interesting, some of the decisions that they make, you know. I'm sure that, you know, you see people now saying he needs to get his dad out of the way and everything. His dad didn't have nothing to do with that fight, man. Or his dad saying he's complete and he's gonna kill him. I mean, that's his son, you know. And I'm sure he's seen his son do some things where he got quite infatuated and just couldn't see no way. But he's no different than a lot of other fathers who got sons that play basketball, baseball. They think every one of their sons is supposed to go to the NBA or the NFL or Major League Baseball. Right. You know, it's just it's a phenomenon. But when you become heavily involved in your child's activities, you don't see the flaw in the child. You just see the flaw in those in charge of the child. You know.
Yeah.
So all these things he's saying about he doesn't need a coach and he doesn't need this, he should know this by now. I don't know if it's theatrics. I don't know if he truly believes that, you know. But hopefully he's mentally flexible enough to say, you know what, I was wrong. Because, you know, he lost the fight I felt he should have won. He lost to Sanders. And I was saying the same thing at the time, you know. And, you know, he just overestimated his abilities. Now, like I said, the ability is there. But is the mindset there he doesn't know who he is. He knows what he's got, but he doesn't know who he is. The kid, he just doesn't know who he is.
Right.
You know. So if you look at the past 2 years since he lost to Sanders at 3, he's been impressive with who he's fought. That's because, you know, that's all it took to beat him. A carpet bombing demonstration, you know. But a seasoned fighter like Groves, who's battle hardened and been through ups and downs and things like that, you know, McGuigan had a good plan because it was just a simple plan. Keep a jab in his face, keep him off balance, don't let him work on the inside, you know. And he did enough to win the fight. But it wasn't like he dominated the fight. You see, he won the fight unanimously, but he didn't dominate the fight. He fought careful. Groves did. So he fought within himself, win the fight, don't take no chances, you know. And that's what he did. And Eubank IQ didn't allow him to recognize that. He never changed up. You know, the guy is jabbing with you, he's controlling you with the jab. I mean, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to start using your jab to offset his, particularly if I got the speed.
Right.
But his jab is non-existent. And he does a lot of unnecessary stuff, a whole lot of unnecessary movement.
Yeah, well, hopefully
he can bounce back.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the kid. I was always a fan of his father's. You know, but you know, we have to really step up when we know that okay, I thought it was this way. Not to say that Dad was wrong and didn't know what he was talking about.
Right.
It's just that it's a sport that, you know, you have to have mindsets for several different things in a fight. You have to have mindsets that anything can happen, and they might present a fight plan that we weren't expecting. So we have to have the mindset to be prepared for that.
Right.
But, you know, but if a simple jab can keep you at bay and away from your personal endeavors in a fight, that's a problem. You gotta have an intelligence in there, and you gotta know who you are. You gotta know why you're doing something. And he just doesn't look like he knows why he's doing something. He just does it.